Recently, the presidency wrote a letter to the House of Representatives seeking approval for the issuance of $500 million Eurobond to fund the 2016 budget. A request that left a lot of people puzzled as the National Assembly is still working on the 2017 budget. Now, I had a chat with the chairman of the House Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management, Representative Adeyinka Ajayi. He starts with his take on the request from the presidency.
Well, from a parliamentary perspective, the National Assembly approved the 2016 budget less than a year ago. And because we know that we always have this problem with our capital projects and some other recurrent issues, the Parliament extended the life of the capital component of the budget beyond the ordinary fiscal year, which would have ended in December of 2016. So we're still running the budget of 2016 well into this month. By the 31st of March, the extension granted for running the budget would lapse. Therefore, we're still within that window, and that's where we position this request.
Now, a lot of people also are concerned about the issue of the year. Now, like you rightly said, they're in order for the 2016 budget year, but it's coming to an end very soon. We're already March. When will we approve this? When will it be used? Do you see any merit to those concerns?
Well, for the ordinary man, your concerns are valid. Your concerns are genuine, because you wonder when these funds would come, when do we disburse, what are we going to spend this monies on. But to the extent that these funds are to fund the global deficit, not necessarily particular projects, they are meant to fund the gap that has been identified in the 2016 budget in a global context. So long as these funds are received within the life of this budget, it will serve its purpose. What do I mean? The dynamics of the international capital market, especially this request that we're dealing with, we're just coming right on the tail of a $1 billion request. The $1 billion request only, if you've been following the events, attracted about sevenfold what Nigeria actually went to the market to obtain. We had over 7 billion offers. Shows that the investors are still keen on Nigeria. The international investment community believes in the prospects of Nigeria. They believe in the vision and the new direction that the present administration is taking the country. And that's what's responsible for that huge request. Therefore, asking for 500 more within that market, right on the tail, is what we call just a cap. The transaction dynamics, it's not going to take as long as it took to put together the initial offering. We expect that if the approvals are done within 48 hours, these funds can be repatriated back to the country, and it will still be, there will be sufficient time for the government to do the right things with these funds to sort the deficit of 2016.
Okay, now I would like to have your view on another matter entirely. When you as the chairman of the House Committee on Debts and Loans, when you look at our whole debt profile, how do you see it as healthy, especially considering some concerns raised as regards the size of our domestic debt?
Well, in terms of health, depending on the ratio that you use, to appraise the situation of Nigeria, we appear to be generally in good health as far as our debt portfolio is concerned, compared to our peers, compared to other countries that have the same social dynamics, the social economic dynamics that we have, because the ratios, the GDP to debt ratios look good. The concerns we have is about our revenue, the tax to revenue and debt ratios. That's where we have a problem. We have an economy that is growing, but we don't have a tax revenue that is commensurate with the growth in that revenue. That is why this government is concentrating a lot of its effort on that tax side. Therefore, we're going in the right direction. We've got to shore up our tax institution. We've got to ensure that all the loopholes and gaps are blocked. That's the only way that our tax profile would match the revenue, the growth that is projected in the economy. In terms of the domestic debt, the government in the medium term is beginning to reorder its affairs. We're looking more to foreign portfolios because the interest in that market is way cheaper than in the domestic market. So there is some sort of conversion process that would happen in the next 3 years. The debt management office has put together a medium-term debt, I think it was a debt strategy to convert some of our domestic debts, which is quite huge. Almost 80% of our debt is domestic. That has affected some productive sectors of the economy, and that's why this government is changing the focus. We're looking outwards, and that's why this request that we just talked about is being looked at favorably, because it's going in the direction that will free our domestic market from the burden of this funding, the infrastructure development.
When you mentioned tax there, I was putting myself in the shoe of somebody else. Did I understand you to mean that we should expect, or it would be right to expect more tax?
No, the government has not come out to say that taxes will be increased. Yes. We have some discussions around the VAT on luxury items, increasing VAT on luxury goods. If you like to drink champagne, you've got to pay for it. If you like to buy fast, expensive cars, you've got to be willing to pay for it. But it's not going to be VAT on basic food items, increase in VAT on basic food items and stuff like that. So the common man should not expect an increase in tax. What the government is doing is to ensure that we get more people into the tax bracket. We have statistics that have come from both the Ministry of Finance and the Bureau of Statistics that we have less than 100 Nigerians paying over 30 million tax. Now that's 30 million naira tax as their tax for a year. Less than 100 Nigerians, less than 100 Nigerians, individuals, pay more than 30 million naira tax. Now, with our lifestyle, I'm sure, Larry, you can read, without stopping, you can reel out 1,000 Nigerians that should pay 500 million a year tax, but we're not paying. The tax net is going to be cast so wide that to bring everybody in. The government is actually considering a lot of incentives to get people to voluntarily declare correctly their taxes. There are going to be some tax rebates just to ensure that people are open and honest. So it's not about increasing taxation. It's about ensuring that everybody who legitimately should pay taxes, pay taxes.
Well, those were just some of the major decisions taken by your representatives this week in the National Assembly. What is your view of the decisions reached and some of the positions taken? Well, our addresses are on the screen, and I look forward to hearing from you. Well, let me take my leave at this point. Thanks for staying with me. I'm Lanre Lasisi. Take care.